In my opinion, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness is the most overrated ride at Epic Universe. I had a lot of concerns going into the attraction before Epic Universe even opened, and I feel like most of my concerns became a reality with this attraction when I got to experience it this summer. I spent 3 days at Epic Universe. I rode it once on day one. It was actually the first attraction I went to. It was not the first attraction I rode though, and I also rode it on day 3. So yes, I skipped Minecart Madness on day 2. Before we get started, please like this video. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Do you agree that it is the most overrated ride at Epic Universe? I would love to hear in the comments below. Of course, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. At the time of this recording, we are pushing for 20,000 subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate if you helped us reach that goal. Thank you so much. One more thing, I would greatly appreciate if you click the link in the description and gave my Instagram account a follow. Thank you. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness is the spearheading attraction. It's honestly the only attraction in Donkey Kong Country, which is like a mini land within Super Nintendo World. It kind of has its own portal from Nintendo World, even though it doesn't have a portal that connects to Celestial Park. It's distinctly its own vibe. It feels very, very different from the rest of Super Nintendo World. It feels much more open air, but it only has that one ride, a couple of interactive things that I did not engage with because I did not buy a Nintendo Power-Up Band. And it does have like a food stand or two. But Minecart Madness is like the backdrop for Donkey Kong Country, so it feels very much like the entirety of Donkey Kong Country is just the courtyard for the roller coaster. But the presentation of the Golden Temple is absolutely amazing. It's very visually appealing. I really, really, really respect the use of water. I love the cascading waterfalls. And if you get closer to the attraction's entrance on the right-hand side, you can see the finale for the roller coaster, which is a splashdown. I love roller coaster splashdowns. This one is a fake splashdown, which I like less, but I still really appreciate how it's open air. Like, it always bothers me that Matterhorn has 2 splashdowns for its 2 different tracks, but they're both hidden from guest view. Like, I want to watch those trains hit the water. Like, come on. So I appreciate the layout of Minecart Madness providing that view. Really, the only other track jumps that are within guest view from off-ride are the main one that launches you out of the barrel towards the top of the Golden Temple, and then there's one that jumps over some spikes. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, straight up, I don't think the track jump effect is that effective. I feel like you can see the fake track as you walk around Donkey Kong Country. And when a train races by, you can see how obviously it connects to it. But like, I feel like this roller coaster was not built for me. I don't think it was built for the theme park fan. I feel like it was built for the general public who can suspend disbelief more about a train jumping a track. I'm like, I knew how this effect was gonna work before, like years before this park even opened, so. Both times I rode Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, I went through the single rider line. I did not wait in the standby line for this attraction. I did not want to, because the wait times that this attraction is pulling is actually like insane. And the standby line itself doesn't look that interesting. It just looks like a bunch of golden rooms with like nothing in it aside from Cranky Kong animatronic in the queue, which the single rider line goes right by. So I got to see the best part of the queue anyway, so like, I don't even care. The major downside about the single rider line is that I feel like you're pretty much guaranteed to ride in the back row. So both rides that I took on Minecart Madness, I sat in row 2 of 2. There is only 2 rows, 4 riders per car. Dispatches are every like 10-15 seconds or so. Actually, I'm gonna time it right now. Give me a second. By my count, I think it's every 15 or 16 seconds. So that's not great. It would be great for any other park that wasn't owned by Disney or Universal, but for Universal Epic Universe, the newest park in Orlando, that's not a great capacity. Like, if I'm being generous and I say they dispatch a train every 15 seconds, that means they can dispatch 240 trains an hour, and if they fill every seat, all 4 riders per 240 train, that's 960 riders per hour, which is like not ideal, but that's like ideal capacity. That's no stops, and I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 station stops while you're waiting to get on Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. It was a very frustrating time for me to get on this attraction, and I feel like that's part of the reason I walked away disappointed on my first rides. The first experience I ever had with Donkey Kong Minecart Madness was rope dropping it, only to find that the standby wait time was posted at 2 hours, the single rider line was posted at an hour, so we got in line for the single rider line, we waited 70 minutes, we were next to get on, and the ride freaking broke. So I had multiple downtime issues with Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. This is the only one that I want to talk about. We waited 70 minutes, and then we waited like 30 minutes in the station because we were so close to getting on when the ride broke down, so I thought it would be worth sticking it out for a little bit, but we had to call it quits. The ride opened like an hour later. We were able to come back and get on after waiting like 30 minutes or so. And then on day 3, I was really dreading trying to ride this ride again, but I was able to get on with about a 30-minute wait, which after the experience that I had on day 1, I was not gonna complain. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness is consistently posted at one of the longest wait times in all of Epic Universe, and I just do not think that this ride experience justifies that. Pretty much every other ride in the park, or the rides that pull wait times as long as Minecart Madness, they have highlights of the ride that are worth waiting that time. Minecart Madness doesn't have that, in my opinion. Even on day 3, which I think had a little bit shorter wait times than days 1 and 2, the standby was posted at over an hour all day. I still would not wait an hour for Minecart Madness. I think it's like 20 to 30 minutes at most, and in the current state of Epic Universe, it's just impossible to get a wait time that short. I did consider coming over to Minecart Madness for a night ride because I've heard a lot of people praise this ride experience at night, and honestly that makes a lot of sense, but I just couldn't peel myself away from Stardust Racers. So next time I'm able to get some night rides at Epic Universe, I'm gonna try to drag myself away from Stardust Racers to try out this ride at night and Constellation Carousel at night. That seems really, really cool. By the way, I have a Constellation Carousel review video on the channel, so I bet you've never watched a carousel review video before, so you should totally do that after you finish this one, of course. But those breakdown issues really gave me, like, totally dragged down my excitement for Minecart Madness and my excitement for the park as a whole, because that was my first impression of Epic Universe, which wasn't great. I probably could have handled the situation better, but it is what it is. Moving on to this ride experience, I'm gonna give you a bit of a play-by-play before I break down my thoughts on it. If you're able to get on this ride, you're gonna dispatch into a right-hand turn, pass an animatronic, go up the lift hill, which will take you through the barrel and up by the Golden Temple. This is one of the major track jumps that you have a view of from off-ride. You're gonna enter a straightaway before you pass Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. You dive down where you can see the track, the real track, and then you crest back up into another mid-course brake run. Here is the second track jump that's very visible from off-ride. Then you're gonna curve up into a major show scene, one of 2 major show scenes. There's gonna be some sideways track jumps within this sequence. You're gonna turn right, go up a second lift hill, dive under this cyclone looking thing. You can see the real track again before you crest back up into another mid-course brake run. Here's where you dive down to the right hand side where that splashdown is, which again I really appreciate how it is within guest view. You're gonna crest up, come to a crawl as you enter one final show scene, which has a pretty impressive Donkey Kong animatronic, and then one more Diddy Kong animatronic up by a golden banana. And that's where you'll turn right back into the station. So honestly, I don't know how to feel about this ride experience. I think the standout moments are supposed to be the final show scene and the track jumps. The track jumps just don't do anything for me. This ride experience is rough. It is very rough. I hit my knee on the edge of the restraint, which just was not ideal. It hurt a lot. Honestly, my favorite part of the ride is the cyclone, which like twists up the track as you dive down. But like right after that, you have a pretty gnarly view of the real track, which is a pretty major downside. Like that's the illusion that this ride is trying to maintain. And twice during the ride experience, it just unveils the curtain to show you the real track. You can even see it in the back row, which again, I only rode this ride in the back. Honestly, if you sit in the front, the illusion of the track jump might be even worse. So it's just not great in my opinion. Plus, it does have like stadium seating, so the second row is a little higher than the first row, so you can see over the people in front of you, which is good. That's a good design. Like the motion of the track jump is just not impressive. It just feels like you're coasting over any other hill. But the sound design is pretty good. The audio team did a great job with that. honestly, that's the most convincing aspect of the illusion in my opinion. I guess it's smooth when the coaster is going straight, which for the most part, all of the track jumps are straight, except for the section with the sideways track jumps in the show scene, which by the way, the light leak is so bad in that scene. It's really, really bad. You see, they do nothing about the light just blaring in from the track right before the second lift hill. So it's hard to see the figures within the show scene, and the lighting just isn't bright enough, so it's just like, it feels poorly designed, which is kind of embarrassing. Whenever you're turning, this roller coaster is very shaky. It's just constant jittering. I don't like how these lift hills have like wooden covers over the fake track. Like, why wouldn't they just have more fake track? I don't know if the wood is like something from the Donkey Kong games. Like, why is that there? I thought the lift hills were gonna provide like a speed up. Like, I thought it was gonna try to like launch you out of the barrel into that first track jump, but it didn't really do that. As I mentioned, I really like the water splashes, so I guess the splashdown is my favorite track jump on the attraction. The final animatronics in the last show scene are pretty cool, but their motion isn't like insane or mind-blowing. Like, there's way better animatronics in this park, so again, not really a standout moment in my opinion. If you've watched all my Epic Universe content, you would know that I totally called the roughness before anybody rode any version of this attraction. When I ranked my most anticipated Epic Universe rides, I totally called that this ride was going to be rough because the riders are very far from the actual track. It's very similar to like how wing coasters are rougher the further away you are from the center of the track. I will say though that on day 3, when I waited 20 to 30 minutes with no downtime issues, I liked it way more. Again, I went through the single rider line, and the person that I got to sit next to actually had some amazing reactions to the track jump, which made my opinion go from this is a bad ride to this ride isn't for me, because it's obviously for people like her who were thrilled and like gleeful and joyful going over these fake track jumps. Like, especially the first one, like, it really got her. So that made me happy. That made me like, that gave me a new perspective, and it gave me a new appreciation for this ride. But again, it's rough, so I hit my leg on the restraint again. It's just like every little upside of this attraction has an asterisk for me. Like, it's just completely overrated, and it's not worth the wait times that it's getting. I kind of glossed over the sound design for Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. As I said, they did a really good job for the track jumps, but like the area soundtrack in front of the roller coaster is very, very repetitive. So if you hang out in the area for an extended period of time, it can get really annoying. And of course, you're gonna be in the area for an extended period of time if you wait in line for this ride. So it's just not great. Plus, like, the animatronic at the beginning of the ride like makes the same yipping noise every time a minecart rolls in front of it, and it just gets annoying because you can hear it from the station. And guess who was stuck in the station for like an hour? Over my 2 rides on this attraction. So speaking of which, none of the animatronics have any impressive motion. Like, I know I said that the Donkey Kong animatronic is impressive. He's like an imposing figure, but he has really simple motion and you don't look at him for that long. So it's just like, that's it. The animatronic at the beginning is so small scale, it just turns its head. There's like a pig holding bags at the base of the second lift hill, and then Diddy Kong is way off by the banana, so it's just like, there's nothing impressive about the animatronic figures on this ride. The most impressive one is honestly the one in the queue, and I think that's a problem. It is kind of concerning to me that this is the smoothest Donkey Kong Minecart Madness will ever be. As this ride ages, as Universal is going to cycle this ride every day for years and years and years, it's going to get rougher and rougher. And in my opinion, the ride experience is going to get worse and worse, so it'll continue to not be worth the wait. Again, there's no standout moment worth waiting for. I might be going in pretty hard on this attraction because I was in a bad mood because of the downtimes, but even after my better ride on day 3, I still think it's the most overrated ride in the park. I was probably a little bit harsh when I ranked the rides at Epic Universe, would probably move it up like 1 or 2 spots, but I still believe it's not worth the wait. I think it's so funny that both this and Monsters Unchained have 4 riders per vehicle, but the difference in wait times is absolutely insane. I discussed in my Monsters Unchained review video that ride was consistently posted at 20 to 30 minutes, but in reality the wait time was non-existent to 10 minutes for all 3 days I spent at Epic Universe. To be fair, the dispatch interval for Monsters Unchained is much shorter. I think it's like 7 seconds compared to this ride, which is 15 to 16 seconds. But Monsters Unchained is the far better ride with far shorter wait times, so I was spending much more of my time over there in Dark Universe than I was in Donkey Kong Country. But that is my opinion on Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I would love to hear down below. Please like this video, and of course please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much everybody, and I will catch you later.